This segment will show you how to attach the clutch for a manual attachment. If your tractor has an electronic attachment clutch, please skip to segment 7. Take the cable bracket, part 12, and attach it to one of the double holes in the clutch idler assembly, part 11. Secure the bracket to the second double hole along the edge of the clutch assembly using a carriage bolt, part M, and a nylock nut, part V, inserting the bolt through the front hole of the cable bracket and in the end of the double hole that is closest to the pulley, closer to the middle of the assembly. Do not tighten the bolt yet. Next, you will take the pulley, part 15, with the long end of the hub facing down, and attach it to the clutch idler assembly. Take a hex bolt, part A, and insert it up from underneath the assembly through the bolt hole in the corner. Then place on the bolt first a spacer, part HH, then add the pulley with the long end of the hub pointing down. Then, on top of the pulley, place on the bolt first a washer, part Q, then a lock washer, part T, and secure it with a hex lock nut, part U. Next, take one of the tensioning chains, part II, and insert it through the center hole on the side next to the cable bracket you installed, attaching the end link on the chain to the spring on the lower idler arm. Next, on the side of the clutch idler assembly, you will attach the rear pulley frame brackets, part 7, and the front pulley frame brackets, part 6. First, attach the rear pulley frame brackets. Place one on the inside next to the cable bracket you already attached, aligning the holes in the pulley frame bracket to the side so that the pulley frame bracket is angled out away from the assembly. Secure the bracket using 2 hex bolts, part C, inserting them from inside the assembly through the bracket holes. Then insert a washer, part P, on each bolt, and insert the bolts through the side of the assembly, securing them using 2 nylock nuts, part V. Secure the second rear pulley frame on the opposite side of the assembly in the same way. Now attach the 2 front pulley frame brackets on either side of the clutch idler assembly. Align each bracket so the notch is on the bottom and closest to the edge of the assembly, and match the bolt holes to the 3rd and 4th holes on the side. Take 2 hex bolts, part B, and insert them from the inside, first through the bolt holes in the bracket, and then through 4 washers, part P, 2 on each bolt. Then insert the bolts through the aligned bolt holes in the side of the assembly and secure them with 2 nylock nuts, part V. Next, select the correct drive belt for your manual attachment clutch tractor. The longer 56-inch drive belt, part 8, is the correct one to use. Make sure you use the correct size belt, as using the wrong one can cause damage. Slightly loosen the hex bolt that is next to the flat idler pulley. You will need to install the drive belt down between the hex bolt and the flat idler pulley with the flat side of the belt against the pulley as shown. Next, loop the belt around the large V pulley, positioning it between the V pulley and the hex bolt that is next to it. Place the belt to the inside of the other flat idler pulley and then retighten the hex bolt. Now find the cable clip that is already attached to the left side of the tractor frame, underneath the footrest. You can open the clip to remove the mower clutch cable, but do not remove the clip from the tractor frame. Then make sure that the attachment clutch lever on the dash panel is in the disengaged position. Next, place the clutch idler assembly on the floor on the left side of the tractor. Attach the mower's clutch cable to the cable bracket that you assembled on the inside of the assembly, sliding the cable into the notched opening in the bracket. Make sure that the groove is down. Use the original small parts that were on the cable to secure the cable housing guide to the cable bracket. Now place a spacer, part GG, on the welded pin on the idler arm. Then hook the end of the clutch cable spring over the pin, securing it by first placing a washer, part O, and then a hairpin cotter, part AA, on the end. Last, align the cable bracket with the welded pin and tighten the nut that you left loose earlier when you first installed the cable bracket. Now you can attach the clutch idler assembly to the tractor frame. Hook the notched rear pulley frame brackets onto the 2 shoulder bolts that you assembled to the outside of the tractor frame. Then lift the front of the assembly and attach it to the right and left hanger brackets you assembled. Use 2 pivot lock pins, part DD, securing them with hairpin cotters, part CC on the end. Next, you will loosely attach the mower clutch cable to the left side of the tractor frame using one of the nylon ties. But do not pull the nylon tie completely tight, because it's possible you may need to remove the nylon tie later when you are using the mower deck. Now assemble the drive belt onto the engine pulley, routing the belt through the engine pulley belt keepers. Note that you might need to remove the belt from the larger pulley on the clutch idler assembly first in order to assemble it onto the engine pulley. If so, when you reassemble the belt back onto the larger pulley, make sure the belt is back between the large pulley and the hex bolt next to it. Now skip to segment 8 to assembling the snow thrower to continue with the assembly.